The gleaming alien ships came without warning one summer evening, descending silently in a small field just outside of Chicago. Lights blinked in colors never seen by the human eye, and their arrival quickly lit up social media. First contact. The headlines read. A crowd gathered nervously excited, their phones held high, capturing every moment. Among them were Sam, a high school teacher who'd always been a little too skeptical for his own good, and his friends. A mechanic named Jerry, a local chef named Max, and his younger brother Nate, a college student. They pushed through the throng to see the scene unfolding before them. Then the ramps extended, unfolding in seamless waves, and strange figures in bright, garish clothes ambled down. Sam squinted. Was it a carnival? The aliens had faces stretched like melted wax figures, eyes with spiraling irises, and arms and legs that seemed to bend in too many places. Some were small and wiry, others were towering behemoths covered in fur or scales. But despite their odd appearances, they wore something unmistakably friendly, big smiles. Well, what looked like smiles. "Welcome, welcome, Earthlings," announced one of the aliens in a smooth, too-perfect English, his voice slipping into Sam's ears like butter. "We are the entertainers of the galaxy. You lucky Earthlings have the privilege of experiencing the greatest show the stars have ever seen, the Great Galactic Fair." Fireworks, like fountains of liquid silver and purple, burst from the ships, as if to punctuate the announcement. The crowd gasped, clapping and cheering as laughter echoed across the field. The four friends exchanged excited glances. "An alien carnival," Nate said, wide-eyed. "This is insane." "It's probably some elaborate government hoax," Sam muttered, but even he was already intrigued. The fairgrounds spread out like a dreamscape, with towering rides that seemed to defy physics. Ferris wheels spun vertically and horizontally. Creatures shaped like balloons floated, carrying passengers through the air, tethered to nothing but their alien handlers. Every game booth sparkled, calling out for attention with prizes that shimmered in the light of distant stars. "What's the worst that could happen, huh?" Jerry laughed, slapping Sam on the back as they pushed into the crowd. One of the first attractions they spotted was something called the Whirlwind Mirage, a dizzying glass tunnel filled with swirling, shimmering gases. Each participant received a small sphere, which, when squeezed, transported them into a pocket of altered reality. The operator was a towering alien with too many fingers, who gestured enthusiastically for Sam to try it. Sam squeezed his sphere and was thrust into what felt like another dimension, the air tingling with electric thrill. He saw strange, colorful beings waltzing around him, felt their laughter on his skin. The world twisted and folded, as if he were in a living kaleidoscope. When he emerged, he was breathless, dazed, but exhilarated. Jerry tried his luck at Gravity's Gamble, where he was strapped to a peculiar platform that hovered in midair, spinning at odd angles as he tried to hold on. Max, being a chef, was drawn to a food stall that boasted intergalactic cuisine. He had something squirmy, glowing faintly, but it tasted better than anything he'd ever had on Earth. Each attraction seemed designed to give them a taste of the impossible. Hours passed. They'd barely scratched the surface, but the carnival was starting to change. There was a slight chill in the air now, and the laughing figures around them seemed sharper, their smiles a bit too wide, their eyes glinting with something unnerving. Then, as the clock struck midnight, a bell tolled from nowhere, sending a shiver through the fairgrounds. The lights dimmed, leaving only eerie blue and green hues casting shadows over everything. Sam looked around, noticing the subtle changes. The rides, once jubilant, now seemed to move a bit too fast. Some alien creatures at the food stalls now had fangs glistening under the dim lights, and the laughter had turned darker, more manic. Jerry pointed toward the tent of the unseen funhouse, its doorway now flickering in and out of sight, as if trapped between worlds. "Let's try that one. Might be a haunted house thing." They stepped inside, expecting tricks and mirrors. Instead, they found themselves walking through what looked like hallways of memories. Images and sounds from their lives playing in random, distorted bursts around them. The carnival music was warped, dissonant, and low, an uncomfortable hum that set their teeth on edge. One mirror revealed a twisted reflection of Sam, his eyes dark and hollow, his mouth a twisted grin. He tried to look away, but it felt like the mirror was pulling at him, dragging out his worst thoughts, his deepest insecurities, splashing them across the walls in flashing images. Nate cried out, stumbling backward. His reflection was laughing at him, though his mouth stayed closed. The warning was whispered, so soft it seemed like the fairground itself had spoken. Sam whipped around, only to find one of the carnival aliens, a slight figure cloaked in shadows, watching them with wary eyes. "Leave?" Sam asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Why would we leave? The alien's gaze darted around as if terrified of being caught. Because not all of you will leave if you stay. Max snorted. Nice try. This is part of the whole dark twist, isn't it? Like a horror attraction. The alien only looked at them sadly. Many planets have welcomed the carnival. Few are better for it. Sam was rattled, but he didn't want to spoil the mood. They brushed it off, continuing deeper into the carnival, though they stayed close together now, each ride and booth more unsettling than the last. Finally, they found themselves standing before the last ride, an enormous contraption towering over the rest of the fair, shrouded in fog and pulsing with faint, ominous lights. A sign above the entrance read, "One-way trip, enter, if you dare." Oh, that's not creepy at all, Sam muttered, though he could feel his pulse quickening. But something compelled him forward, and the others followed. The interior was pitch black, and the door slammed shut behind them. They heard the clicking of gears, a rumbling that seemed to shake the ground itself. Suddenly, the floor dropped, sending them plummeting downward at impossible speed. They hurtled through corridors of stars, endless stretches of the cosmos flashing past. But the thrill was short-lived. The ride twisted violently, and Sam realized with horror that they weren't just spinning. They were being shown other worlds, shattered civilizations, all with the same haunting carnival tent standing amidst ruins. The laughter turned into screams, echoing around them as they hurtled toward a glowing red portal. What is this? Nate shouted, terror in his voice. The alien operator's voice crackled over the speaker. Congratulations, brave travelers. You're witnessing the remnants of those who failed the last ride. The cart twisted again, turning Sam's stomach as they were forced to watch cities crumble, civilizations fall, all the while that haunting carnival music playing over the speaker. Desperation clawed at Sam. Stop the ride, he screamed, pounding on the sides, but there was no response. He looked at his friends. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide with terror. With a final shudder, the ride came to a halt. The door opened, but they were no longer at the fairgrounds. Instead, they found themselves standing in a barren, alien landscape, the sky a murky shade of purple. In the distance, they could see remnants of the carnival, derelict and abandoned, the lights flickering weakly in the dying dusk. A voice whispered from the shadows. The same alien who had warned them. The carnival moves on, but some of its patrons stay behind. Forever. Despair filled Sam as he turned to his friends. He knew they'd be telling this story for the rest of their lives, however long that might be. In the far distance, the carnival lights blinked out one by one, and the last remnants of the Great Galactic Fair faded into the cosmos, leaving only the echo of their laughter and the stifling silence of an empty world.